Well,
I'm gonna try to be a model.
oh, what's the thing? Like, here's your model face.
Blue steel, what is it?
Open your eyes.
Smile with your eyes.
Smile. Your eyes open.
Nah, stop smiling.
Looks great.
How come I can't make him look? He's just always looking into the distance.
So if you do this,
Okay.
yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah. It's more about your relationship to the phone. So we have the face to phone, and then the phone is wirelessly connected to the computer. Yeah, we're recording the audio separately. I really hope the audio.
Oh yes. Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna close the door. I think it's getting
The
muddy.
noise is too loud.
That's better.
Yeah, and it still is picking up. It's not too dark.
Okay.
Okay. Well. This is really interesting.
Yeah, it's cool, huh?
Yeah, it's actually probably good to have some time to warm up to it,
Good.
so it's not so
Forever.
distracting.
I agree.
I wonder if our faces are actually going to do that,
What's that?
like the weird jawline sagginess stuff.
Oh, when we're old?
Yeah, so bizarre. He needs a Joe Biden facelift. It's not so bad too if your hand gets tired, like holding it down.
Yes, because you can look down at it. And then
That too.
the orientation is weird because it doesn't quite necessarily
Yeah, it
correspond.
doesn't totally understand.
Yeah.
We also don't have to look at it.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you look away too much,
Yeah.
the net gets a little bit away. So if I'm like this, if you keep looking at the phone,
Yeah.
is it still there?
Oh,
It's a little
whoa.
glitched out, right?
Yeah, he's bent
Yeah,
way
yeah.
too. It's not good for your neck.
No. It's
Yeah.
So you could do things like that.
Yeah.
Where,
That makes sense.
yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
So we got a good hour. I was wondering, the main idea of this, I was thinking maybe you could interview me, or
Yeah.
I could interview you, or as well one as it gets, you could say, table is here with Chinese room, and
Yeah.
I can be like, hi, my name is Chinese room, or we can be Tim and Kyle.
Yeah.
I don't think it matters too much, but
Yeah. Probably not. It
Okay.
doesn't. It probably doesn't matter either way.
okay.
Yeah, we can interview us.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that would be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be fitting. And like, just the only thing I wanted was just some kind of like extended kind of hangout chat or whatever, and then we could kind of frame it and show it to people. So that's the only.
Yeah, that sounds good to me too.
Okay.
I think we should plug in the phone.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you remember when I texted you like maybe a month or so ago about an idea?
What's that?
I said I have an idea. Do you remember?
No.
Oh. Okay, let me see here. Trying to find it in the text messages. Oh, so yeah, here it is. I said I have an idea for a collaboration. I'm too tired to talk about it tonight. And I said, night, to talk to you soon. And he sent me a picture of Emmanuel doing peace signs.
Two-piece sign.
Two-piece signs.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I never told you.
No, you didn't.
Well, the idea was like that we should figure out some way to do something without the self.
Without the self.
Like, figure out maybe like a way. I refuse to help myself, or no, refuse to help yourself, or I don't know, refuse maybe is the wrong word. I don't remember what it was, but I was thinking that there would be some way that we could do something where the concept of I and you maybe got a little bit fucked up, you know?
Okay.
Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was too tired to remember after the fact. But it seemed like a good idea that night.
Okay.
Anyway, I was wondering if we could talk about where we are right now.
That's always good. Yeah, that's
and maybe.
good.
And I'm curious, like, what is this room
Right.
that we're in right now? Anyway.
Is that a question?
Yeah.
Okay. So the question is, what is this room?
And where? Where is this room? Okay. But maybe, yeah, where and what is this room? I don't really care about the why yet.
Okay. And who's asking who right now? Maybe we should say who is this?
That's anybody's guess.
Yeah.
Maybe we should.
Maybe we should do a little more like conversational.
Okay.
So we can just talk, and I'll kind of capture our faces, and if it gets caught, great. If not,
if it works, it's cool.
Yeah. But,
okay.
So hi, my name is Chinese Room.
Hi, Chinese Room.
Yeah, nice to meet you. So how's your day?
It's pretty green and mostly good, and also pretty old.
Yeah. Why don't you interview me?
Okay, great.
Yeah. What are your questions?
Well, so my first question is, why are you called Chinese Room?
Sure. Yeah. The Chinese Room. I don't know if I should be called the Chinese Room or just Chinese Room. Like when I was younger, I was the Moogist. There was like my stage name, and then it got a little too dramatic, and I dropped the in it. But
kind of like Hulk.
Yeah, the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. But then the movie that Ang Lee directed was just called Hulk. I think.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes. Well, he's green too, so that's a good.
Well, that's what. Yeah.
Right. Okay, it's not racist. I mean, partially, I think I was really drawn to the Chinese Room concept. I mean, let me just explain it for people viewing this.
Yeah, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, so there was a guy named John Searle. He was a philosopher. He's still alive. I think he's like 89 or something.
Is he Chinese?
No.
Oh.
He's, I think he's British or American or something. 1980, I think it was in like UC Berkeley or something. So around that time, you know Alan Turing. A lot of people know that. And he wasn't an AI researcher, but he kind of wanted to do philosophy sort of in that realm. You know, I think, so I don't know exactly. Yeah, I'm not an expert on him, but he came up with this experiment, and that's kind of what he's been known for the past 40 years. And this experiment called the Chinese Room, thought experiment, whatever. Yeah, and basically he was trying to illustrate how a computer works, and also how he differentiated between hard AI or strong AI and weak AI.
Okay.
And so there was like strong AI, or weak AI is like, machines that sort of do really cool tasks that you program them to do or whatever. But strong AI was
like a robot.
Yeah, like a robot that cleans your house or something. Yeah. But strong AI brings in, at least in the 80s, human interaction, things that would kind of challenge the perception of the human. It's not a new thing that we've, always been fascinated with, talking computers and thinking robots, and, that are they human? Can a robot, paint a beautiful masterpiece, picture, whatever? Can it hold a conversation? And there are like kind of like early tests of computer trying to perform like human logic, I guess.
Okay.
And so he came up with this thought experiment and said, okay, well...
So is he trying to figure out what is artificial intelligence, or is he trying to figure out what is human?
I think he knows what human is, and so he kind of comes from a point where, the machines are not human. Oh. So Alan Turing, the Turing test says, okay, if it talks like a human, if it smells like a human, if it sounds like a human, then we shouldn't rule out the fact that it's not human.
So if a human takes a shower, it might not be a human anymore. Yeah.
Yes, we didn't get that far in the 80s. So.
Got it.
We might have now. I don't know. Okay. That's a strong joke, Kyle.
Thanks, Chinese.
Yeah, no problem. NP. So I'm slowly getting into it. I'm trying to describe it as detailed as you want, and please jump in, anytime, and I'll try to point the camera at your face. Right?
Okay,
but
cool.
The computer's glitching and whatever. I don't care. So Alan Turing said the Turing test, if it talks like a human, smells like a human, we shouldn't rule out the fact that it's not human. And then John Searle comes along and said, no, that's wrong. And in fact, just like that, that's what he said. And he said...
Kind of a buzzkill, like just killing the party.
No! Yeah.
Jeez. He never did improv. It's a yes and.
Yeah. There's no
Okay.
Either. No. So he said. So this is basically what it's like. It's like a room where I'm trapped in. So I guess he was trying to be put himself into the experiment and stuff. Imagine that I, as a native English speaker, was trapped inside a room. And it doesn't matter if I starve or whatever, who cares? Let's not think about that. Inside the room was this, fed in a big stack of papers. And on it was all Chinese writing. And so as someone who doesn't speak Chinese and only speaks English, who knows nothing about the language on the paper, can't do anything. And so there's a second stack of papers that exist that are basically, a really, really, really detailed set of instructions in English, which helps to decipher what the first stack of papers, the Chinese papers, is or says or has. And so given enough time, 1,000 years, 2,000 years maybe, or whatever, one would be able to output a response out of this locked room, responses in Chinese, and be able to sort of communicate, however slowly, as if he was a native speaker of that language.
In both written and audio language?
In this case it was just written, because early computing, it was all language based. It was very kind of heavily dependent upon, you were in a dark forest, you don't see anything around you or whatever. That was the extent to how AI or computer or whatever, was sort of there weren't any really smart, convincing graphics or anything like that. So
isn't there another thought experiment like this about I'm looking it up on my phone right now. And it's infinite monkey theorem.
Oh, what's that?
So it's on Wikipedia.
Okay.
So here we go. Infinite monkey theorem and its associated imagery is considered a popular and proverbial illustration of the mathematics of probability, widely known to the general public.
Can you open your eyes a little bit?
I can try.
Yeah, thanks.
Is that
a racist comment?
I don't know.
Yeah, you look good now.
Okay, cool. Yeah. One or more subjects may have their eyes closed in the photograph. Okay, so widely known to the general public because of its transmission through popular culture, rather than because of its transmission via the classroom. However, the popularity as either presented or taken in the public's mind often oversimplifies or confuses important aspects of the different scales of the concepts involved: infinity, probability, and time. All of these are in measures beyond average human experience and practical comprehension or comparison. So, but the thing, oh boy, I'm stuttering. The concept or the idea is given enough time, a hypothetical chimpanzee typing at random would, as part of its output, almost surely produce one of Shakespeare's plays.
Right.
So, but what I'm trying to say is both of these thought experiments seem to probably actually not be, like they're both not real.
Sure.
But so which one is... So is a chimpanzee a human? And also, is it that the stack of paper is producing consciousness to like learn how to do it? Or is it just like given enough time, it would happen on its own?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely deeply flawed, the Chinese room, and that's why it's received like a lot of hate mail.
Oh yeah.
And which is why I'm interested in it. So it sounded racist to me as a Chinese person in 2022, right? It's like, so what you're saying, like being Chinese is the most alien thing in the world, and a non-human, whatever. But at the same time, it was also deeply criticized. Actually, no one really criticized it for being like kind of, racist sounding or whatever. Yeah. All the criticism just came on like the holes of the argument, like how can anyone live that long, and also like you're equating, like you said, you're equating language as being equivalent to what consciousness is. So there's been in the New York Book Review I read, there's over 100 published attacks on this one. So John Searle basically spent his whole life defending himself.
Wow.
Yeah. So that puts it into another, this is kind of like the guy everybody hates actually, or it doesn't even hate now, like they're more just people in like consciousness fields are sort of like, there is Santa Claus and, and that, let's talk about something else. And so it's like not even relevant in AI fields right now because of all the technology that's kind of come through, but also philosophically, just the different strands of like philosophy of mind or whatever. But I mean, this guy's old school, he's like 89 and he's kind of been around and whatever, but and he kind of was caught up in some sex scandal as well. So,
oh, really?
Yeah. So I mean, no one's really touching this guy, but I thought maybe if I'm Chinese I could touch him because well, not like really touch him, but like
we don't want another sex scandal.
No. I need some lunch.
Yeah. So is that why you were very old? Or, well, I mean, I guess that's a rude thing to say.
How dare you?
But it appears as if like we've been modeled to be a person of many years, rather than a person of not very many years.
I mean, the old guy kind of came hand in hand with. I was sort of fascinated. Tim Sang was fascinated with like being old. Many reasons, but one of them was just I was really self-conscious over the pandemic. Oh, warning, the device temperature is high. Maybe we should cool it for a second. I've known this to happen. I was about to share a deep story, but let me shut this off and then I'm gonna start the recordings again. If that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What do I do?
You want me to hold it?
No, I'm trying to think of what button to press. Video display is off. Oh no. Okay. Live. There's a way to like.
Maybe if we turn the screen brightness down, it'll stop being so hot.
Oh, true. Okay, we can try that.
I don't know. Do you think if it stays, will it like fry itself or something?
No, I think it'll just crash. But
so far,
I read it like I read what to do, but I can't because the info is on this phone.
It's not easy.
Oh, it's what it's doing? It's dropping the frames per second.
That's okay. So it's choppy.
I mean, it's already choppy to begin with, so.
I mean, it's not easy, like, being a Chinese room and being self-aware.
Yes. Yeah, tough job.
Like, how to know how you work and how to cool off. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, do you want to just keep going until it dies? And then we'll just take a break and keep going?
Yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe if we don't hold it, it won't be hot either.
Yeah.
Or here, I'll try holding it first.
Okay, you got cooler hands.
Well, maybe it's because it's charging the battery too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Maybe that.
Because sometimes that can be.
Why don't we unplug it?
Kind of hot.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Hey, so I was about to share something. So what was I saying?
You said you're about to share a deep story.
Yeah. So the pandemic, everybody had a rough time, but for me, my eyelids started falling off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See, I look like dinosaur skin, and I'm like.
Well, in the Chinese room though, it's everything's dinosaur.
Yeah, that's exactly what. So as you see in the back of this phone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can see. Yeah.
Yeah. Can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Just so like.
There it is.
Yeah, so my eyelids were falling off. It was weird, like this weird eczema thing, and I really kind of, had a memento mori moment there, and because I'm pretty good looking, and like,
no, I mean it's an objective,
and
fact.
So, thanks.
Yeah. Like taste.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not getting anywhere, but that's okay.
Salud.
Oh, okay. So I was like, oh man, wrinkles and all that, and then I thought, oh well, why don't I just embrace my oldness and kind of think about how I would look like when I'm dead or about to die, or in my dying years, or in my last 5 or 10 years or whatever.
Yeah.
And then there was right around that time we were playing with like Face App. Everyone like was turning themselves old on Facebook.
Oh,
like that. Yeah. So I had a really good shot with.
That was like they did that, and then they were like anti-Russian immediately after. Right? Yeah. But never mind. This is the Chinese room. So not the Russian. Yeah.
I was gonna. So, long story short, the Face App thing, I thought it was really cool, and my buddy Parches also made himself old. Parches, where are you? So we, I had some really good shots, because I was trying to do like a modeling gig, but maybe I wasn't pretty enough.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
And I had some good headshots that I just plugged them into the Face App, and they looked amazing because the photographer's, super pro, Michael Cacciadorian, he does stuff for like commercial photography, for big brands and stuff. So he's got it all down. His studio's amazing, and all the lighting is perfect. And
his last name means hunter.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Cacciatore is hunter stew.
Oh.
Anyway.
Oh. You guys should meet.
I don't know. Yeah, I could use a good headshot, but he's gonna need AI. Anyway.
Well, I don't know if he likes what I did with it, because the picture was already perfect, and I shoved it into the Face App.
Oh yeah.
But then out came a really kind of like
more perfect.
More perfect old man, with no hair, and just lighting was great. Lighting is really important, and so I kind of just used that, as a Facebook profile. But then the more I looked at it, the more kind of like interesting I thought, and so I made my phone cover with it as well, and kind of became like an ongoing theme, so to sort of work with, and I didn't really give it a name or whatever, but just it was like an ongoing thing, and then out came Unreal Engine is what we were using to run this today, and something that I've been learning for the past year. And they have this, how they got me is they had this series of something called Meta Humans. This was before Facebook became Meta. They just copied it basically, because everybody was saying the word Meta, and, blah blah blah. Yeah. So we were cool first, okay? Meta Humans was like these like hyper realistic digital virtual humans that like a team of really talented people who worked on Fortnite and like big blockbuster films and stuff, they got together and they like basically built these like default kind of generic, you can't see, but I'm doing the
the air quotes.
The generic
curly peace signs.
The generic humans, and they're kind of cool. So the first models were not cis white males, but they were like there was an Asian guy and then a black woman, as like their sort of. And so, at least they're trying to be, open to diversity and all that. And so there's like a good 30 different human templates, you know, for different genders, different races, and whatnot, and each one of them are deeply kind of built, you know. So they have like a skeleton inside of them, and like ear bone and whatever, you know, really, really intricate. Sorry. So one of the models was already old, so and it was Asian, so I was like, oh well, that looks like me, bald Asian guy, you know, and
cool.
So it was very convenient, and you kind of went into the creator, and then you just tweak it. I just kept tweaking the face that would look a little bit more like me. I made him a little bit taller, and that was it. Yeah. So I mean,
and more good looking.
Oh, yeah, of course, of course, yeah. It didn't need to be said. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So does that give you a good picture of?
Yeah. No, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think I understand more about where we are and why we are old.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, so I did a couple of things where, you know, I kind of was messing around with this talking human, and I was like, oh, what can I use this for, you know, to make it art, or at least use it meaningfully, you know, because people were using it and they make like commercials or, you know, and stuff, and which isn't necessarily bad, but at the same time, like maybe there are other uses for that as well, in addition to making a really cool video game or selling like a branded perfume, you know, which is totally cool. But like also maybe can we stage a play with this, you know, can we can we make art, can we, you know, do whatever, so I was kind of curious about that.
Can we experience consciousness?
Yeah, so coupling the Chinese old man guy, I was like, and then also like thinking about the Chinese room, I thought that's kind of like an unlikely, interesting pair to sort of consider. While a lot of people have written off the Chinese room, I think, you know, the questions of, what does it mean to be human? Doesn't really get old, you know, it gets exploited, but it doesn't get old in a lot of ways, and at least for me, and so I'm very interested in that. And then it also gives me a bit of a window to explore my own Chinese identity, you know. So along with that, it's like, what does it mean to be a Chinese person? Yeah, what does it mean to be a Chinese avatar? You know, like, why give avatars race anyway? You know, like, you know, we're kind of, so there's that.
That was a question I had, because I was curious if there were any models that they made that don't have a sort of quote
like green skin
generic person in IRL, like like a purple person, or like a person with no arms or legs who's just floating in space, or like I don't know, or even somebody who isn't like their body isn't configured like ours, with like a head that has a brain inside of it that runs everything else. You know, what if?
I think that's a great idea. It's just, I think things like that do exist, but nobody uses it.
Got it.
Yeah, because we like to look at ourselves, right? I think there's something human about that, and we do, don't we?
We do it. I don't know if we always like it.
Oh, true. Yes.
We don't always like what we see.
This is going great.
Yeah, I feel pretty good.
Yeah? Thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've been really intrigued by this project because of the way that it overlaps, or the way that it makes time and space in multiple areas that I think are particularly important to think about right now.
How so?
Well, I guess like it seems as if we're experiencing multiple crises of identity, of existence in general, and as humans move into a meta or multiple meta experiences or places, like we simultaneously haven't constructed ways of adequately, harmoniously, peacefully existing in physical spaces. So like transitioning over to digital worlds, it seems as though like is highlighting all of the other issues we already have, you know?
And amplifying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes.
So this was interesting to me because of the nature of being in general, like broadly.
Yes.
You know? Was that called ontology? Yeah. What would they say? Well,
keep going. You're doing
anyway. And then, but also how the nature of being relates to barriers, like restrict who is allowed to be.
Yes.
You know? And
that's right.
under what circumstances or terms various beings are allowed to be. So there's those things. And then also we're using this word human and pretending as if it's not a fraught word to begin with, you know, like there's a lot of people out there who like are not so sure about if we've ever agreed on what a human is, or and also like if it's useful to keep using it as a word. So that was interesting to me too. And then this other thing that I was interested in that I can't remember exactly how I put it, and I don't know why, probably angst. I think I was experiencing angst. Is about this concept of this discrete self, you know, the individual, and a curiosity about like what possibilities for existence, for life together could exist if there were like experiments in like non-selfness. So maybe, I don't know if the Chinese room is that, but when you started showing me that both of us would be speaking out of the same avatar, it piqued my interest in that or whatever, in a sense, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't trust youth.
Yeah, old people are.
Yeah.
They're a little more straightforward.
Well, they're made invisible all the time, you know. And you can get away with more when you're invisible. Anyway.
No, that's good. Yeah, that's
I don't know if there were questions in there or not, but I was just trying to.
No, we're doing great.
Reveal something.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I could. Maybe this whole thing is like a ploy to share myself, you know, with people as well. Like, I think a lot of friends see, you know, out here in the world and stuff, you know, we make including you, Kyle, I mean, like, when we came to know each other, like, just our life stories about who we are, our families or whatnot, and like being brought, you know, in our work. And for whatever reason, I think for me as a quote unquote Chinese person, I just couldn't really make any work about being Chinese or being a person for that matter, without being like 5 degrees abstraction, you know, and where I really feel like I was being myself, you know, whatever. And this somehow does allow for that, because it's like a already messed up situation, you know, like us talking to the same phone and whatever, and then with the kind of highly questionable philosophical, you know, idea. And then the person it came from is not flawless you know, you know, has,
I didn't know he was a person.
He's got problems. Yeah, sorry, John, but we all have problems, but that wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, my battery.
Should we plug in again? Until it overheats.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Yeah. So, like problems. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of.
So, I mean, technology. I mean, I could share a little bit about being Chinese. I mean, I was hoping you would ask me that, but whatever.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean that's a good question.
There's nothing off limits. Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy to kind of do that and sort of spill it out. But for me, I was born in Hong Kong. And Tim Sang was.
But that's not China.
It wasn't part of China. You know, I was born in 1985. It was, you know, whatever. And by 97 was when it got handed over to China. And and
so it was like given from one colonial empire to another one.
Yeah, we loved our British masters because, you know, they gave us culture and we were like the coolest, you know, Asian, Chinese city there was, right? Like people came, there was a lot of culture and sophistication. We knew how to drink our tea. We dressed really well. You know, everybody was well groomed, and you know, not many of us have facial, whatever. But like, you know, we have Wong Kar Wai, we have, we have Bruce Lee. We were like awesome, you know, and but obviously, you know, there's a lot of oppression by the Japanese and all that. Yeah. But no, like we kind of got to sort of appreciate the Britishness of, you know, 100 years is a long time to be, you know, part of. I think the British in general are slightly. Oh, I don't need to talk about the British. They're whatever. Okay, so I think, but to talk about me, I think having been.
We were talking about Chineseness or whatever Chinese. Oh no, sorry. Were you saying you wanted to talk about being Chinese?
Yeah. So being Chinese, I actually didn't know much about Hong Kong history because there really wasn't much of it. It was like a fisherman town, and that kind of got taken over by the British and trades and opium wars, and a lot of people died or were addicted to drugs and sold stuff or whatever. And then there was all this, but I didn't learn about all that till much later, and I was in my teens, or if not later. By then at the age of 7, my family and I left and, you know, came to Vancouver in Canada. I asked my dad, is it because of 97, you're scared of China? And he's like, no, I just wanted to see the world, and I'm doing it for you. And it's true. But
no pressure.
No, yeah. But yeah, I mean, we were. I think a big part of it was the 97 thing. But we left in 92, so it was funny because I remember like when we immigrated, I was 7, and in my elementary school class in grade 2, I was the only Chinese kid in the class. But by 94, 95, it was like 80-90% Chinese people.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. And all the Canadian kids would be, you know, white, Indian, whatever. Like, well, I mean, Indian's Asian too, but like and at the same time, like just this Chinese flux, of people going into Vancouver in 95, 96, 97. It was just crazy. That ratio just turned upside down. Everybody was trying to like learn how to speak Chinese, and it was like a big thing. And
wow, cool.
Yeah. So it kind of went from being, I went from being like a outcast, not knowing how to speak a language, to people actually trying to learn from me. I was like, ooh, all of a sudden it's cool to be Chinese. At least in Burnaby, Vancouver, but
and you could play basketball too.
I was
you were cool for like a number of reasons, probably.
I was a really cool kid in school, for sure. Yeah, I made it work. Yeah, I was, you know, a little bit taller. I remember I was a good kid at home, but I would get into fights, and stuff, and show my strength. And I remember I had a pinching contest in grade 4 with Craig.
That sounds painful. To be pinched.
He pinched me first, and then I pinched him back really, really hard, and it didn't happen again. And I'm slightly, you know, taller, bigger, you know, and so it helped. And but you know, I also was like captain of the basketball team. I played piano, and you know, I'm good looking, and
sounds rough.
So it worked. Just there's my life story. But even then, I think there was a sense of, because I came to Canada at 92 and all the other Chinese kids came at 94 or 95, 96, 97, I was like, oh, you guys don't know what it was like when I was in my class. When my day 2 years ago, I had to fight for my own, you know.
That's why we are an old man. That sounded right.
I was. Thank you.
You don't understand.
Back in my day.
Yeah. We walked from Hong Kong across the ocean, uphill.
Yes.
Man, you should see a hill of ocean. It's really something.
Yeah. But that made me kind of resent my own culture. I think that, and I didn't think my parents were that cool. I mean, they're good parents, but I just thought, like, I don't know. And so I kind of did what I could to be not Chinese associated, you know. I would refuse to speak the language. I would try to hang out with there weren't that many choices because my high school was like 90% Asian. So if it wasn't Cantonese, it was Taiwanese. So I hung out with the Taiwanese kids.
Okay.
And then all the Cantonese people would call me a traitor. And
Dang.
like, yeah.
That's intense.
But I mean, it's high school. Then people say whatever. But
That's true.
Yeah.
Solidarity is like after high school.
Yeah, overrated in my eyes. But I just didn't want to be associated at all, and so it was something that I really pushed, you know, really deep down, and whatever, and instead I focused more on like, what do you call it, like high achieving, you know, whatever, like being good at something, you know, that kind of helped to drive my identity or whatever for a good number of years, But now, I don't know, not so much.
I relate to that.
Yeah?
For sure, yeah. I think, like, I don't know, like, in my family, like, my parents were first generation college educated people, and and they really became a way that they identified themselves and really valued that identity and wanted their kids to be better than that, if that makes sense, or something along those lines. As a creative person, it became clear, it was never overtly spoken. Oh, there we are. It was never like said out loud, so to speak, in explicit words, but it was reinforced with like positive and negative, rewards and punishment, basically. That if I was going to be a creative person for, you know, my vocation, right? If I wanted to be a so-called artist, or a professional artist, whatever that means, which I think I never wanted to be a professional artist, but maybe I just wanted to be taken care of by a rich spouse. Anyway, but is this
Are you implying something?
Is this a commercial? Anyway, but you know, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, when you were saying that you like kind of poured yourself into like excellence.
Yes, that's
like
what I was trying. Yes.
Being really good at something. It became clear to me that if I was going to be an artist, that I had better be the greatest artist. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like
the best in the world.
I couldn't just do it. I had to be better than everyone.
The best of all time.
The GOAT.
The GOAT.
The greatest of all time.
Greatest of all
Not
time.
Not the boat.
Not the boat. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, that literally was what drove me for many years.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. That's really, thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to be the best basketball player, and then I wanted to be the best musician there was. But for you, it was the artist.
Well, we hear these narratives,
right?
You know, and like my mom was the first woman to be in the electrical engineering department at University of Iowa.
Oh, wow.
And she was the valedictorian of her high school. And she was the first person in her family to go to college, you know, and like these kinds of things that, like, you hear the story and it's cool, but then the subtext of the story is like, what are you gonna do?
Right.
With all of that stuff that I just achieved for you, you know.
Yes.
She probably would be really upset to hear that kind of pressure that produced, you know. But it's impossible not to feel it, you know.
True.
Like, just say, like, I've been given a gift by people who've worked, you know.
Yeah.
And they don't want to squander what they gave. Sometimes I do. If it's fun to squander. Ice cream every day. Anyway.
Huh.
So you wanted to be the best at basketball, and
I did.
and piano, or that?
Yeah,
later?
There weren't many Asian players in the NBA, but my high school was pretty good.
Just like Yao Ming was like the guy.
Well, Yao Ming's from China. He didn't go to he's like Chinese.
Oh.
Jeremy Lin would be like a similar kind of, recent.
Got it.
But this was before the days of Jeremy Lin, and so
Yes.
I wasn't expecting to go to the NBA, but two of my high school guys in my team, played in Europe, and
Yeah.
they played for a couple of years, and like that, I was kind of like, that would have been great. I would have been, I was better than them. Yeah. But no, that was kind of a big deal, and I really, that was all I woke up thinking about, every day. I'm gonna go beat this person. I'm gonna go beat this person. I'm gonna, and but of course, basketball is a team game, and it's not always about, exceptionalism is not totally objective, I guess.
It's kind of weird though, because and I'm glad that we're starting to talk about games.
Okay.
Because we're kind of in one. And also, if basketball is a team game, it's also kind of a finite game, right? You want to win. That's
Are you setting me up?
No, not at all. But so I'm just maybe arguing that it's a finite game, not an infinite game. Right now, I don't know what we're in because we're in a green box place, but it doesn't look like it has an end.
I'm just gonna keep making you talk.
or a way to win. I'm just suggesting that it might be different than basketball. But the other thing I wanted to say about basketball is that even if it is a team sport, it's absolutely not a team sport because of celebrity and because of the way that it operates culturally. Because basketball isn't really even about the game.
No.
It's about all the stuff that gets produced.
It used to be. Back in my day.
Peach crates and Converse All-Stars. But Chuck Taylors.
Yeah.
But really, now it's about Jordans. Those are
90s it became like a global phenomenon, and so it became like it very much was.
We're in LA, but it sounds like the Chicago room. Just saying.
I have something in my teeth. Hold on.
Well, nobody can see it.
No, I meant this.
I thought you meant it. Never mind.
Basketball games, infinite.
Those things.
Being the best.
And for some reason, I did want to bring up Dennis Rodman.
Okay.
Well, just because I thought that maybe he was somebody that you could look up to, because he was definitely an artist and a basketball player.
Yeah, no, he's a cool guy. He went to North Korea.
See?
Yeah, just to hang out with people. Yeah, yep.
Cool.
Is there anything you want to talk about or ask me or talk about? I'm wondering if we could talk about Table a little bit. I know I'm the guest artist of Table, but you, Kyle Bellucci Johansson, are the resident artist at Automata, and so we talked about Tim Sang a lot because Tim Sang is being hosted by Table on the Road, is it? Were you calling that?
I don't know what we're calling it. It's like induction burners.
Induction.
We've got two induction burners that look kind of like a DJ rig. Yeah. So but I don't know very much about DJing.
You don't have to. Yeah, that's fine. You talk about you do you.
A lot about time though.
Okay.
And sequence and.
Can you talk about Table a little bit? Just.
Yeah,
I'm gonna hijack this. Yeah.
We can talk a little bit about Table.
Yeah. So what happened? I shared a lot about myself.
Well, you were there. We were there when that happened. So
right.
Table started when Table started in I think that was 2018. Like the spring.
Yep.
2018, maybe like March. This time.
Oh,
probably.
hello.
Yeah, right now, probably.
Great.
But like 4 years ago.
Oh, man.
Yeah, pretty weird.
Yes.
We're getting old, as you can see.
Back in my day!
But I will say, I think we have very nice teeth. When I'm 80, I don't think my teeth will look this good. I'm just saying.
Yeah, mine are really yellow.
Mine, yeah, me too. Somebody asked me if I was a vampire the other day.
But yeah, please, table.
So I moved to Chicago from LA, where we went to school together and had like really good community.
We did.
We had this like group of artists, musicians, dancers, thinkers, people who were in like a critique group together, and I really learned a lot from those people, and also felt a kind of like kinship that was really nice. It was good. I mean, I guess I'm just describing what it's like to have friends. I had friends, and we made friends together. And then I left because I couldn't afford to stay in Los Angeles anymore. And so I moved to where I'm from, which is Chicago, and was working at a museum. And I didn't like it, but it was felt maybe important to, in a weird way, it's similar to the Chinese room. It was it was important to face my roots, or like, you know, the place that formed me and the people there, you know, family and history and the weight of that. Because I ran away when I was 18. I was like, give me, you know, I gotta go do my own thing. I'm gonna be this cool guy, you know. And I couldn't do that in the proximity of my family. I just felt really a lot of pressure, obligation, I guess you could say, because of my role as the oldest sibling and whatnot. But anyway, so I moved back to Chicago. I had a job I didn't like, and I wanted to start a space, mostly just to make friends and also to have interesting things happen, interesting and useful things, I think, that were creative and temporarily dislocated us so that we could experience life together in ways that were cool and helpful.
Yeah.
And
no, keep going.
And anyway, so, but I needed to take some time to do that because, for one, Chicago had changed a lot in the 11 years that I had been gone, and so I wanted to learn from it, and like I didn't want to make something redundant or that like was already happening, or I didn't want to make something that was actually sort of counterproductive or like not useful for people. And we did this symposium. I don't know if you remember that we did with Catherine Schaefer and Charles Gaines and Gabriela Barreto Limos.
Just name dropping.
And, well, but they're, you know, they might get mad at that. I was there too. You know.
No, good. Yeah.
And then, the symposium, we tried really hard to like make it non-hierarchical and to like, we put the chairs in a circle and we thought that would be a revolution. That didn't work. And anyway, so like, but the night before, I just had everybody over for dinner. And
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It was so good. Nobody was like on stage, but we were actually kind of all on stage, and we were the performers and the audience, and we were just like having a great time, delighting each other and tantalizing each other's brains. It was like, it was an intellectual conversation and it was a social experience, and it was like all of that. And we were talking shit, and we were probably drinking too much, and like I was hungover for the symposium, which was kind of embarrassing. But I remember, because you were there and Matthew were there, and you were staying at my house, and I remember like bumbling out of my room in the morning and being like, I know what I want to do, you know, like that kind of. You don't remember? No,
I'm shaking my head in disbelief and agreement.
Yeah, and I was like, I want to just do the dinner part and never do the institution symposium part. You know?
Yes.
And that was it. And then, but then I realized too, like, after school, you don't have very many chances unless you're like independently wealthy or like one of the magical people that people decide like, this person should be famous.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Which usually is very sus.
Yeah.
And it's like,
True. Yes.
So I knew all these amazing artists who were broke and were working for other artists or working for other spaces, and like didn't have, weren't being given opportunities to show their work or build their work in a critical kind of thoughtful framework. And so it was simple. And I didn't have any money, so it was like, well, I have an apartment and I know I'm going to pay rent. That much I can guarantee. I will keep paying for a place to live. But, you know, and I probably wouldn't do that for a studio building or something. Because I also was getting fired from the museum at the same time, you know. So I was like, well, maybe I was doing it so that I would an insurance policy so that I wouldn't become homeless. You know, I was like, if other people are relying on me, I'll find a way to make it work.
And it's been 3 years now. You guys had 3 seasons.
1.5 years strong, and then 1.5 years of pandemic.
Right.
Yeah, and then we reopened. So we've done 3 shows since COVID-19, and it's a solo show in my house usually.
Okay.
This is the
how does it work? Can you break it down? You're about to
So this is the first one that's not in my house explicitly.
Oh, right now. Okay.
But you know, Chinese rooms feels like it's like a.
Can you share a little bit backtrack? So I think people who come into the space in 3 days,
they'll want to know about it.
Yeah, like what the heck is Table?
Okay, so Table is a temporary project space in the Avondale neighborhood of Chicago, which is the northwest neighborhood of Chicago. It's on the Blue Line train. And I picked that neighborhood because I didn't want to move home and I wanted to live at a place that could take me to the airport without having to take a taxi.
Yes.
Because I'm cheap. And so that's why I live there. And then, but also it's a nice 100-year-old apartment with a big dining room that has like nothing on the walls. It was my studio, and then it became the initial space for Table. So people come and they do something there. And we've had people make objects, images, photographs, performances. Like a dance company came and did a performance there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Time-based media. The show that's up there right now are a series of videos and video games that are on multiple screens throughout the whole house, like the kitchen, the dining room, the living room, the bathroom, and the bedroom. I think that's all of them. And then, so the artist does a thing, they make a show. It's a hard space because it's not an empty cube.
Right.
So you kind of have to think about like, there's like windows on one wall, and then there's a doorway on the other one, and then there's a doorway on the other one, and then you have to decide, am I going to arbitrarily use the dining room, or am I going to use other parts of the house, and why? You can't just think about a discrete object that is meant to be interpreted as it is without thinking about the context around it, which definitely matters to me. And also
very thoughtful space.
And also there's a like subtext proposition of the space that art is part of daily social life. It's not relegated to institutions or galleries, but like the sort of proposition underneath every show, regardless of its politics or content, is that that art is not separate from us.
That's good.
You know, that it's always sort of there. Anyway.
Wow.
People do a show. Then they want to talk about it. Well, they better. Because, let me tell you, some people don't. And then Table is not for you. Because it's a place for talking too.
Right,
you know?
right.
And listening. And there's an actual table in the space. Because it also functions as a dining room.
Right.
It's a table that was built for the space. It's 4 foot by 8 foot wide, and the whole thing's made out of plywood. But it's an absurd sculpture because it's like really, really nice furniture made out of the really, really shitty material. And it took a long time, and it's really beautiful. Costs about, you know, like, I don't know, like $200 to make or something, which is awesome. It's so cheap.
Well, you have a carpenter.
Yeah. Nate Young helped me build the table. Hashtag TM. Anyway, yeah, because he said that my other one made his ass hurt because he didn't like sitting on the hard stools.
Right.
So he wanted low benches.
Okay.
So we built that.
Yes.
And then the artist invites people to come and talk about their work.
Right.
And then we sit down and I cook a meal, and then we eat a 5-course meal inside of the show, and we talk about it.
That's crazy. I can't believe it.
Yeah. That's it.
That's cool.
And then the whole thing gets like transcribed and kicked around by the participants.
The whole thing, like the dinner conversation?
The conversation, yeah. And so that it functions as a document that is useful. This word probably keeps coming up, and
you've been saying that a lot. Yeah.
I care an awful lot about being useful. It matters to me that, what's the word? I have been called affectionately, I think. I don't think it's ill-spirited. A serious man. You know what I'm saying? From a very young age. I just don't understand not taking life seriously. You know? I like playing a lot.
You're a funny guy and you joke a lot.
Yeah.
But you're serious. Yeah.
Well, we have a moment. That, you know?
A moment?
We have a moment.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
Yes.
Precious.
True.
And I don't know, while I have that moment, I want to care for the people that I'm there with, you know? And do whatever's possible to make that a significant moment.
That's really cool.
That's it. It's really simple. Anyway, so
now you're bringing it to Automata.
Yeah, because Automata was super cool. Yeah, no, but really, like, it's a space that has been very, like, affectionate and nurturing and kind, and also strange. Like, it's a space that has embraced weirdness with open arms, and perhaps there won't be an outcome. Perhaps, like, you know, we went to the moon together here.
Right. We had a fake moon. Yeah.
A fake moon landing.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, like the original fake moon.
Right.
And I was shocked that they said yes because it didn't, you know. Yeah. Anyway, so this has always been a space where I felt like I'm embraced and encouraged to try something and maybe fail, and that's a gift, you know. A pretty rare gift, actually. It's like most spaces want a product.
Right.
They're like, you know, we're giving. I'm doing air quotes now too. We're giving you this thing, but in exchange for your soul, for your your selfie image that's gonna, like, we were the ones who bestowed upon Kyle his future success. You know, like, I'm sure that there will be people who, you know, after we're dead, Tim, or excuse me, Chinese.
You can call me, yeah.
We will be claimed, or we will be disowned.
Oh, no. What's worse?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But you know what I mean? This place, I just feel like they're down. They're into it.
Yeah, I mean, they're cool. Yeah, we love you, Janie and Susan.
Yeah. And I don't know, we'd been talking about the Chinese room project for a while, and I knew, like, you know, work, there's a lot of stuff going on that's just like tough life stuff. I'm pretty exhausted. And I also am getting older, so I'm embracing that table as, like, actually part of my practice as an artist.
Right, because you used to kind of like, you're
I was
too
just
cool
like,
for
I
your
am
own
not a
project.
curator. Shut up. Leave me alone.
Right.
No, well, I just was prideful and self-conscious. So I was like worried that I couldn't do multiple things without people starting to only call me whatever.
You didn't want to just be
they liked.
known for the table running guy.
Yeah, I didn't want to be called a curator. Because I think that artists are really interesting folks who can and should do a lot of different things. And so it mattered to me that like it's an artist-run project. And because I think artists should be making shows and writing about shows and situating shows and not relying on or beholden to institutions or commercial galleries to do that work. I know it's a lot of work, but why on earth would I want to give that responsibility away? You know, like not just responsibility, but give that power away to somebody else. I don't know. Like,
But now you've kind of embraced the.
well, now I understand that it's okay to.
It's okay to be the table guy.
Yeah, like I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna die if somebody says table is, Kyle is an artist.
No one's attacking you in the New York Review of Books.
Yeah, it's okay. No, nobody's writing anything.
You're not John Searle. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is part of my. I mean, I make performance architecture.
Right. Okay. That's cool.
And
I never thought of it that way. Yeah, performance.
that is what it is.
Yeah.
We sit and talk and eat in a space. Space is the place, right? But so that's the part that I think I contribute. I don't maybe configure the physical stuff necessarily, or in some cases the virtual stuff, depending on what the show is.
Right.
But I make the aroma, you know what I mean, and the taste.
Literally.
And the temperature and the setting, the backdrop, I guess, to where the artist's work is being made.
And you always tell me you don't like your food being photographed.
Never. Nope. Because it's not art. Food, I hate restaurants for the same reason. Because what they do is they make something that is old and and inherently human, you know what I mean, into a commodity. And that's fine, whatever. It's just I think I don't like exploitation and all the like oppression and shit that comes with capitalism, but I also don't like how boring it is. You know what I mean? Like
restaurant.
Everybody always says like capitalism is like the instigator of creative innovation, and that's not true. You know why? Because every restaurant functions the same way. You know what I mean? Like you sit down, you have a menu, you have a waiter, you do the thing, blah blah blah, or you go to the kiosk, you push a button, you pay, and the food gets called out, you get it, you eat it. None of that is interesting.
No.
Things taste good.
Right.
Whatever.
Sure.
But it's not creative. It's hyper conventional. So that's one.
You have a very
So that's
not
one. That's one thing I don't like about it. But the other thing I don't like about it is that when you start to photograph food or focus on it, it becomes like it starts to take on this like whole economy and life force of its own, and then it starts to just become a distraction, or it becomes an elite sort of thing. Oh, look at this amazing thing that happened, or whatever, and it's like, and then it's like not something that a grandma could make in her own kitchen, which is ridiculous, in my humble opinion. I never want to make food that makes people feel alienated. I want to make food that tricks people into having an experience with people where they're like actually like feel safe enough to be vulnerable,
right?
And to share something useful with each other. So photographed elitist food is the opposite of that.
Right. No, that's beautiful. Yeah, because it's like the flattening of something that's very
And I also want it to be fucking delicious. You know what I mean? I want you to eat it and make like guttural noises that are like, oh my God, what's happening to me? That's the other thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's multi-sensory.
Yeah.
We can overthink it together if we want to.
Right.
It's like, it makes maybe a different conversation happen because people are activated on multiple levels of their intelligence, not just their brain and their verbal skills, but like the physical felt sense, the smell, the touch, the taste, all those other senses are activated. So maybe there's something to that. It's also really old,
Yeah.
People sit around and eat together. It's like a thing that people like to do.
Uh-huh.
And it's a thing that like basically all people like to do.
Maybe that's why we're friends, huh? We both are pretty old.
We're old. We're old, anti-nationalist people. We're good eaters too.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, man. Okay, fine. We talked about table. Yeah, man. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, so I was coming here and it's not enough time to like build an exhibition, so to speak, of like my research-based quote unquote studio stuff or whatever. And I really needed to just like kind of heal and have time to think and have time to just like be with people I love. So this was an obvious like way to sort of like con a residency, you know what I mean? It's like I just want to hang out with my friend, and I knew if I invited you that we would have like one-on-one time, which you don't get a lot of either.
Sure,
you're a dad, and you've got and a job and a family, and like so this is a way for me to be selfish because it's like pro now, quote unquote pro, and also I love your project, so it's also nice to get to like be a part of your project too, and do something together.
What do you think of my project?
Well, that's a good question. Yeah. For one, it's interesting to answer that question in the stage of the project that we are in right now,
right.
Which is literally recording our faces inside of Automata at a table with two computers and a phone and a microphone.
Yes.
In case people want to know, because I think all they're going to see is this old face talking about it.
Yes.
So
should we take a quick shot of that maybe?
Sure,
just for the record. Right.
Okay. Okay.
I'll just keep holding this, or I don't know what to do.
Okay. I don't think my arm's not long enough.
What can you see?
I can see you and me. Actually, I can get all of it, I think.
Can you see both of us smiling?
Oh, I accidentally just made a video.
Can you see us smiling?
Yeah. Yes. Okay, I got it.
Can you get one of me like this?
Yeah. Oh, that's a selfie instead. This is amazing. What? Oh, let me do cinema style so that in case we want to, you know what I'm saying? So that it fits on a screen better. I think my camera is a little, okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Got the promo shots.
So, I'm curious about like what presentation version of this looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It feels like, it sounds like, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, but what I like about it, or what I'm interested in about it so far, for one, we've done a lot of things together where we talk and we record it and we use technology to like amplify or visualize or distort the kind of way that our experience ends up being experienced for others. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or for different people. Can we both be mad at the same time? Oh my God! You know, but what is different about what this project is different is that it actually feels like we're having less of a mediated experience. To me, anyway. Like, and because like we've done stuff on Zoom, you know, and we like done stuff in like a built 3D model, but the technology always actually amplifies the sense of self-consciousness in those spaces. At least it has, I think, sometimes for me, and it's taken sometimes it's taken hours to get to a point where that starts to evaporate and we can just get to the nitty-gritty. You know? We used to do it when we were young. We used to do two people, third space, fifth wall, where we would just talk until we were exhausted. Now we come pre-exhausted, so we don't have to do that anymore.
True.
But you know, this was intriguing to me because it felt like the tech part was in service to the meaning part. Like, and also think like it's a project that feels more courageous, a little more like comfortable in its own skin to be able to say like, this is what I'm thinking about doing. And like both of us have a relationship to games and trickery and maybe flirting with con artistry, you know. And this was interesting to me because it felt really sincere and playful. And I don't know, so that was exciting to me. And I felt like it was like focused enough. It's like tackling some big issues, but they're broad big issues that a lot of people have access to. Maybe everybody. I don't want to say that you never. I don't want to say, you know, I don't want to suggest the old modernist idea or anything. But you know, anyway, it just was like, it felt honest, it felt mature, it felt generous, it felt brave. I like that.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, my hopes for this is sort of, at first I was thinking, kind of thinking about how to performance architecture in a different way, you know, how can I build a room where people could come into, but maybe I was thinking of like, maybe the room as a person or like making room instead of like, so it's not about, it's very unformed, you know, which I don't really have I like made one proposal about this, and that's kind of what got me thinking, even if I don't get accepted there, I'd really like to kind of expand this project a little bit, and all I have is this old man talking with a green screen, but then like I don't know, just how to hold space, in that way. But all I know so far, right? I mean, you're kind of my first victim, where I thought the idea of like 2 or more people, you know, gathered to talk through one face. But we'll see. I don't know.
I mean, so far so good, I think.
Okay.
I mean,
thanks.
I'm not, you know.
We could eat faces for dinner.
Pig faces, hopefully.
No.
A lot of cartilage. And they've got the best cheeks. Guanciale.
Oh dear.
That's a good idea. Actually. I'll make.
Because your meals are always like related to the artist, your host or whatever. So Chinatown might have a lot of.
I think we'll be able to find pork here for sure.
Actually, maybe you have to go to San Gabriel.
Okay.
They don't sell much meat in the market there.
Oh yeah, I noticed the vegan places are popular. You can try a vegan face.
Vegan face, okay, yeah.
But I don't know. I've never been a cannibal before. I don't want to eat a vegan. Anyway, but
ouch.
Point is, As a person who is deeply suspicious and may even say like he doesn't believe in value, maybe that's why I'm more interested in. I think I like use value. You know what I mean? But yeah, I have a suspicion that this will have a lot of use value for people who see it.
I hope so.
And
Yeah, I hope so.
And the conversation that follows, like we may talk about the tech and the mediation and the meta and
Sure,
stuff.
right.
But in a way that feels less about how it is often used as sort of like a window dressing or a gimmick or a spectacle.
Yeah.
And then, but what I like is that, or what I'm drawn to is the way that the spectacle is being put to work. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's how my neck feels pretty much most mornings.
I've never done this before.
Me neither.
Oh.
Wow, it's upside down.
Yeah, I didn't think you could do this. But
That's really cool.
I just made a new discovery.
Yeah.
Yeah, look.
Oh, there's a hole in my
There
neck.
is a hole. Yeah. I didn't
Our
know.
neck.
That's how we look.
Yeah. Flesh. Yeah. 3D models are interesting because they're just skin.
Well, there's a skeleton. There's a skeleton as
This
well.
one has a
Yeah.
skeleton.
Well, Unreal Engine uses like the way to have movement is the bone structure. Yeah. So that's how the
So
rigging.
there's a skeleton and skin.
skeleton and skin, no muscle. Yeah.
No muscle.
Yeah, muscle is just mesh.
No organs.
Not that I know of. You
Well,
could
we'll
put.
find
You
out.
could.
We're about to put a stomach and a liver to test.
Yes.
At dinner.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll go there.
Yeah, cool.
Koreans eat intestines a lot. Chinese too. Yeah.
They're delicious.
Yeah.
Sausage.
Gopcha. Yeah.
Yeah. All sausage is intestine.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's the outside of a sausage.
All right.
Yeah. We could do guts.
Okay. Guts. I don't know.
Guts and faces.
Let's see if.
And greens.
yeah. Healthy.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Paleo.
Oh.
What's more human than that?
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Huh. Now I'm just wanted to keep making you talk because I like this.
The upside down part.
Yeah. There's one of Emmanuel's characters is the man with the upside down face, and it's exactly this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and he's the goat of
Oh, really?
Trevor Henderson characters. Yeah, so it's like the Siren Head, collection or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the man with the upside down face.
You can see up our nose pretty well. with
Yeah. I should try to turn around a little bit.
this one. Yeah, I wonder
Wait.
how that
I
works.
want to see. Like, okay, hold on.
How do you do it? Oh, whoa. Oh, see when you get. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Where is the neck?
Here.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now put it back. Let's see what happens. Wow. That is so fascinating. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Is there a chiropractor in the Chinese room? Yeah. It's interesting. It'd be interesting to think about if the Chinese room has like iterations.
Iterations.
Like, well, if this project is has a kind of series of iterations or events or test performances or
What would that look like?
well, I was trying to say
You're gonna ask me.
yeah, sure, and also maybe there's the question about this figure's body too. Like it has one
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
really smart pink sweater. It's nice. Yeah. Nice in the green room,
Right,
Good
right,
color
right.
combo.
I haven't gotten to the body yet much.
But you know what I mean. Like
Right.
maybe that's another thing to consider.
Yeah.
I will say I like sitting down. So it's been nice to not have to like have the body mapped. You know what I mean? And do stuff with it.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a idea of like a body as like in a spiritual sense, some religious whatever, like the body as a temple almost.
Yeah.
To host like the spirit or something, and then it's like
or
the idea of like, that's kind of partially, you know, where I'm sort of stealing that from.
Yeah.
But maybe, I don't know. A moving room.
Yeah, well, and like, I don't know, that makes a lot of sense. And of course, like, what we're doing actually, like, it's a virtual thing, a virtual visualization of a room. Mm-hmm. But also, like, I guess in terms of thinking about image making and language of image making, we have this word like a camera. You know? And that's a room. Like, the word camera is Latin for chamber. And because the first camera was a room, kind of a Plato's cave kind of room. It was
literally
just a dark room with a hole in the wall, and the light came in and made an image of outside inside, but upside down. A camera obscura.
That's right.
And so, anyway, I don't know. Like, there's something about that that's. Anyway, I don't know. Maybe there's something related to the Chinese room with the camera obscura, and an anti-camera is a room between two rooms. That's like it's a. I like the word anti because it's like it does two things at once. It means the thing that precedes the next thing. So like if you're having a meal, the antipasto is the thing you eat before you eat pasta, an appetizer. You know? Okay. But in architecture, if you say anti-camera, it's a chamber before a chamber, a room before a room.
Oh wow!
But it also is a negation, which I like. So anti, and it's, I don't know. I love when one word means multiple things. It makes me feel hopeful about being. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like maybe human could be an okay term if we could allow it to expand.
Yes.
Or be multiple things. Mean multiple things. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, for me,
it's weird getting old. 5 years ago, Kyle would be like, "No, man, screw the human. Get rid of that term. Burn it all down." You know? Anyway, you were saying?
No, I mean, another thing, I was just trying to share a little more, just thinking out loud too, like with what to do with the Chinese room, like next steps or whatever. Like part of me trying to perform Chineseness is less, the cultural, historical things, and more, for me, being Chinese means like living with a certain openness, to people and what things are and who we are and whatnot. And I think it is a very kind of way of being. Traditionally, like the word China, translation is to like the middle country, you know, Zhonggao, is
country between countries.
Middle country, and so Chinese is the middle language, and likewise, and it was supposed to be like for a good while. I don't know my history, but like for a good while it was like a common, language. Koreans had to learn it, and like a lot of different. Japanese had a lot of characters as well, but I think
it's kind of the root of a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, and then being like from Hong Kong as well, like we can't really draw directly from our roots, so there's like there's a nomadic, like a lot of countries or I know that are colonies or whatever. Yeah, there's a nomadic kind of flavor to that, and there's very little you can kind of actually draw from, and so you're constantly sort of lost, but also constantly finding spaces and holding the spaces, whether it be in the back of a alleyway or a restaurant or a park or a school or whatever, and so it's like a portable.
You carry the space with you.
Yeah, and you make home, wherever you kind of go. Yeah.
So maybe best of all time is better than greatest of all time, because a boat does that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Goats. Yeah, well, they hold themselves.
Maybe we could eat a goat on a boat.
Oh, yes.
In a moat.
Oh.
Yeah, bring your kid.
Yes.
Dr. Seuss is in the house.
That's right.
But
Yes.
I don't know. This is a tangent.
Okay.
And I might be wrong, so we should check later and see if this is.
We should keep recording or not.
Or not factual.
All right.
But there's we might be close to being done.
Yeah, we're running out of battery.
There's a bird that is like one of my favorite birds.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's a bird that's used in Hong Kong, but I know for sure it's used in China.
Okay.
And it's like one of the oldest people-animal relationships that exist in the whole world.
Oh, wow.
It's called the cormorant.
Cormorant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, in English this was called, I don't know. It probably has other names.
Okay.
And it's a bird that is like a prehistoric bird. It has teeth.
Oh.
Never lost them, in terms of like evolution,
Mm-hmm.
It also is an aquatic bird, but it has no oil glands like ducks or geese or whatever to make its feathers waterproof.
Yeah.
So after it goes diving and swimming, it has to like dry its wings out in the sun, because it can't fly after it goes swimming.
Okay.
Because it's too waterlogged. But it's an amazing fisherman bird, and there are fishermen who still use these birds that are trained to go catch fish, and then the fishermen give the bird like a portion of the catch every day in exchange for fishing for people.
Oh, wow.
And it's been going on for like over 1,000 years.
Huh.
Which is really cool.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, that's cool.
They're not humans, but
cormorants.
Cormorants.
Okay.
Yeah, we have them here too, but
Do we in LA?
but nobody bothers to train them or
right.
work with them. Unions, I think.
Oh. Just maybe next year.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Kyle, for your time and or being here. Yeah, Automata. I'm wearing the Automata hat now, but I'm really glad you're here personally, but also as a we're lucky to have you with us this time around.
Well, I'll wear a table hat, I guess, or a hat that's a table, okay, now I got it. Cool. But thanks for having Table be in Automata and outside of Automata, and it's really a hospitable space, and I think that's maybe one thing that we share is like our spaces are people collectors, friend collectors, and so it's nice. I'm really grateful to make some new ones and to share some new ones, So we'll see, I guess, like what people think of this video and the meal.
Oh yes. Are we gonna eat face? Yeah.
And we'll
see.
talk.
We'll see. Yeah. Yep. So this will be playing, and while we eat and all that, and
Yeah. And if we fully charge the phone, we might be able to pass this around while we eat.
To be cool.
Yeah, you never know.
Yes. All right.
All right.
Well, bye for now. Bye for now. This is for the audio sync because we're recording. So.
Adios. Bye. See you later. Oh my god. Cool. Okay, we should cut this.
Okay, stop. Okay, 1, 2, 4. Yeah, the audio is gonna be hard.
That's gonna be a lot. That was cool, man. We did a good job. We're getting the hang of this thing.
Not bad at all. Not bad.
Yeah,
at all.
you know, 5 years ago,
Yeah.
it would have taken a long time to warm up. You know? It's because we got nothing left.
Can't afford to. Yeah. Yes.
Okay, let's see what all those text messages were.
All right.